first got this thing, it was pretty intimidating. You know, we always had a 6-row corn head before this. It's a 12. Quite a chore to watch sometimes.
It's a big difference, right?
Yeah, depending on which field you're in, this field's not really good.
You need a GPS unit on it, right?
Yeah, we got some GPS right here that tells us our yield and the moisture and everything, and it maps out like the field and stuff. Shows us where the yield was good and where it's not. Then we have an auto header height with sensors on the bottom of the head that put it up and down and keep it like level.
Is it like a radar unit, probably?
There's 3 like flaps that run on the ground, one on each end and then one in the middle. And if it, one gets lower, it just adjusts itself, which is huge because doing it manually is very difficult.
Probably tiring too, right?
Yeah, dude. When we first got this, it didn't work. We didn't have it on, and by the end of the day, I was just like completely fried, just from like having my face glued against the windshield all the time.
Yeah, could you look at all the dubs coming out of here? You probably see everything running out of here, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm usually looking straight ahead so I don't fuck something up. But
yeah. You see any pheasant anymore?
Very seldom. See more rabbits than pheasants. I don't think I've seen any this year.
They told me that when you take the corn down, that they could watch the mice run out of the field, and they run up and they hang on the stucco of their house. Which is pretty crazy.
I believe that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
The light on this thing. We have the back tires full of calcium.
What does that do?
Adds weight to the back. When we first put this thing on here, like going down the hill like this, the back end completely comes off the ground because this head's so
This head's so heavy, right?
I think it's like 12,000 pounds.
Wow. You wouldn't think that.
I know, right? And then when the bin's full of corn back there, that's another 15. But it's pretty amazing, like how with this thing, how fast it can go. You know what it does compared to our old one. Jesus. Technology came a long way.
You do the planning too?
I do not know. You know Lee Staler?
Leroy Staler, yes.
Yeah, we're partners with him. And he usually does all the corn planting. He likes that job.
He was a client of my father's, believe it or not. My dad was in the insurance business for a long time. And he remembers going over to Leroy's place there in Center Valley.
What's your...
His last name, Laporta. Mike Laporta. He was with Mass Mutual Insurance Company.
Oh. Yeah, Lee's place just burned again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now this one is crazy. They wouldn't say what started it though. There's nothing really in there to like. It's not like there's a bunch of hay in there to light right up really easy.
Yeah.
It was all like concrete and equipment.
I remember when the fertilizer farm for Sean's caught on fire like 4 or 5 years ago. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was like national news. I was out there. It was like midnight. They sucked every pond dry, and all that fertilizer caught on fire. There was no way they were going to put that out.
What, like the nitrogen?
Yeah, they had like electrical fire right off of Steinsburg Road there.
I didn't know fertilizer would burn like that. That's crazy.
It was unbelievable.
Lee's got really hot because he keeps all his equipment full and stuff. The big tires on the combine, once they got lit up, and and I guess the metal roof was keeping all the heat in. They said so. Like it got. I mean, it melted one of his aluminum dump trailers. It melted the aluminum body right off of it. Like,
I had a fire in an apartment in college. Our toaster in the kitchen started on fire. We weren't even there. I had my buddy's scuba diving weight belt, lead belt on our Formica countertop because I was taking scuba lessons. And no fire hit that part of the counter, but it melted the entire lead diving belt. And no fire was in our bathroom, and it completely melted the louvers on our exhaust fan in the bathroom because the superheated air was getting drafted up through. It was dripping melting. That's how hot it was.
Jesus.
Well, you're doing a damn good job with this.
Thank you. Takes a little bit to get. Took me a little bit to get used to, but.
So you get paid to do this. I would do this all day for nothing.
Well, I get pretty rammy in here after a while.
I'm sure you do.
It's not even like it's just like sitting all day. You know, I need exercise. Or I get my body gets like all weird. But no, it's cool.
So I was good friends with a guy you probably knew, George Vaslik.
Oh yeah, George. He used to stop down all the time.
Well, George and I got really close over the last 20 years. And, you know, he wasn't the easiest to get along with. But he and I were close, and my heart broke when he died, you know. I couldn't believe it, actually. He died in the hospital going to get a heart procedure.
Oh really? I thought he died at home.
I don't think so. I think he died while he was in the hospital.
Oh. Yeah, George. I often joke. I knew him since I was a little kid.
I'm sure you did. That's why I mentioned his name.
I joke that that's where I learned all my curse words from. Because I used to help bale hay at the farm, and he'd come by and he'd stand at the side of the wagon. Fucking this, fucking that. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He was one of a kind, man. They don't make him like him anymore. He'd tell you straight how it was. He was a good dude, though.
He would see me in the Coopersburg diner, and he'd come up real loud. He'd go, "Jesus